is one step closer to being solved. As our Sonia Artero reports, divers retrieved one black box and located the other in the Java Sea.
The cockpit voice recorder was found just hours after officials announced that the flight data recorder had been dislodged from beneath a piece of the aircraft's wing. A team of Indonesian Navy divers are credited with the find. Indonesia's National Search and Rescue Chief confirms the data recorder is now headed to Jakarta to be analyzed. The cockpit voice recorder remains wedged beneath heavy wreckage, and divers are struggling to free it at a depth of 32 meters. Once it too is plucked from the sea, it will undergo the same scrutiny. The two instruments are vital to understanding what brought Flight 8501 down on December 28th, killing all 162 people on board. Experts say the final determination could take up to 2 weeks. Key points investigators will look for include the plane's vertical and horizontal speeds and the engine's temperature. Equally telling are the final conversations between the captain and co-pilot. The slow-moving hunt for the doomed airliner got a boost over the weekend when the Airbus A320's tail was hoisted out of the sea. So far, only 48 bodies have been recovered. That's why searchers are feverishly hunting for the plane's fuselage. That's the main section of the plane's cabin where many of the victims' bodies are believed to be entombed. At a family assistance center in Surabaya, some relatives are still hopeful their loved ones are alive. The last contact the pilots had with air traffic control was halfway into a 2-hour journey from Surabaya to Singapore. Faced with stormy weather, they asked to climb to a higher elevation, but were denied permission due to heavy air traffic. 4 minutes later, the plane dropped off the radar screen and crashed into the Java Sea. Sonia Artero, TVB News.
At least 7 poultry farms in central eastern Taiwan have been affected by a bird flu outbreak involving 2 strains of the virus, both new to the island, and one is even the first in the world. Local authorities have culled nearly 10,000 geese in Chiayi and Yunlin counties and sterilized the area after birds were found with H5N8, the first time in Taiwan. Some 230 people are being monitored, with 3 reporting respiratory symptoms so far. In Pingtung, authorities and a chicken farm have come under fire for potentially having covered up an avian flu outbreak in late December, which is now found to be the world's first strain of H5N2. Experts believe the avian flu virus strains have been spreading in Taiwan for 2 or 3 months already.
And back locally, in the run-up to Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying's 2015 policy address, most people surveyed by the University of Hong Kong's Public Opinion Programme think addressing housing issues should be the administration's top priority. 90% of respondents named housing an issue Siwa Leung should tackle. This was followed by economic development, political development, medical policy and social welfare. Over 2,000 people were interviewed for this study, which was conducted in 2 rounds, one in late December and another earlier this month. There are more than 14,000 teachers in Hong Kong who are being forced to take a lower salary because of an old pay scale system. But this is expected to improve somewhat in this week's policy address. Sources say the government plans to raise the proportion of higher paid graduate teacher positions in primary schools.
In Hong Kong, more than 90% of secondary and primary school teachers hold university degrees. But schools are required to hire staff under 2 separate streams, that is, graduate and non-graduate teacher positions. The starting salaries don't vary too much. For example, a primary school non-graduate teacher will start at about $23,000 a month, while a degree holder will get about $1,000 more. But at the top of the pay scale, the 2 streams differ by nearly $10,000. As there's not enough graduate teacher positions, there are now more than 14,000 teachers with at least a bachelor's degree who have essentially been forced to take a pay cut by being hired under the non-graduate stream. Education sector lawmaker Ip Kin Yoon said this should be changed to make it fairer and improve teacher morale. Ip added that he hopes the government will take a bigger step soon and make all teaching places degree holder positions. According to sources, the upcoming policy address will suggest raising in phases the proportion of graduate teacher positions in primary schools to reach an aim of 65% degree holders. It's currently a 50-50 balance between graduate and non-graduate positions. The ratio in secondary schools is expected to be kept the same, with 85% being degree holders. According to sources, the government's long-term goal is to require all teachers to have at least a university degree, but there is no time frame for that just yet.
The city's top judges and others in the legal profession today kicked off the new legal year. At the ceremony, Chief Justice of the Court of Final Appeal, Geoffrey Ma, and Secretary for Justice Rimsky-Yoon expressed differing views on the recent Occupy protests and their impact on the rule of law.
The recent Occupy movement, which involved large-scale as well as sporadic unlawful activities, brings about blatant challenges to the rule of law. Whilst I believe the overwhelming majority of our community would not dispute the importance of universal suffrage, one should reflect on the fundamental question: can there be universal suffrage without the rule of law? The rule of law dictates that all constitutional development must be consistent with and not contrary to developing constitutional regime.
These recent events have demonstrated the respect that most people have for the rule of law. No one has seriously questioned the need for respect for the rule of law. The legal proceedings in the courts which took place during the course of the protests demonstrated an adherence to the rule of law.
All right, Tony, over to you for sports.
That's right. We've got some snooker to start us off with and then some football. Great start for Hong Kong snooker ace Marco Fu on the opening day of the Masters in London. Fu made a maximum 147 break in the fourth frame of his match against England's Stuart Bingham at Alexandra Palace. It was the third maximum of his career. He went on to score 2 more centuries and defeated Bingham 6-3. Fu reached the Masters final in 2011 but lost to China's Ding Junhui. There was also a major upset yesterday as world champion Mark Selby was defeated by fellow Englishman Shaun Murphy. And in English football, Arsenal dominated Stoke City 3-0, and with the win, the Gunners are knocking on the door of the top 4. James Wong has all the highlights.
Alexis Sanchez was the man of the match as he scored twice and set up Arsenal's first goal. A cross headed in by Laurent Koscielny in the 6th minute. At the half hour, Sanchez then showed his class with the fine footwork before beating the keeper 2-0 at Emirates. Second half, the Chilean scored his 18th goal of the season, 3-0 the final. The Gunners move ahead of Tottenham into 5th place, just a point behind Manchester United, who were upset by Southampton 1-0 at Old Trafford. In Spain, Lionel Messi says he's not leaving the Nou Camp and called reports he wants manager Luis Enrique sacked lies. Messi was one of 3 Barcelona players who found the net against Atletico Madrid. Neymar and Luis Suarez were the other goal scorers. Barca beat Atletico 3-1 and stay a point back of leaders Real Madrid. Jameson Wong, TVB News.
And in the NFL playoffs, the Green Bay Packers edged the Dallas Cowboys 26-21 at Lambeau Field. Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdown passes despite limited mobility due to a calf injury. Green Bay will play the Seattle Seahawks next week in the NFC title game. The winner advances to the Super Bowl in Arizona. In the AFC, Andrew Luck of the Indianapolis Colts won his quarterback duel with Denver's Peyton Manning. Luck replaced Manning at Indianapolis. The Colts took the game 24-13. They'll meet the New England Patriots in the conference championship game.
And that was the news for tonight.
Thanks for watching. Good night.
don't do this for the glory.
So why do you?
Hurry!
But she's pure evil? I don't think she meant to hurt me.
Friend or foe?
There's a bombing on 8th and Pass.
Tonight, The Flash at 10:35 on Pearl.
做父母嘅點夠瞓啊？但係望住 BB 總係百看不厭。好想多啲陪佢，想佢學得開心，學得快。
衛視明白父母盡心盡力，100年嚟一直為 BB 學習同健康出力。
BB 學嘢聰明，付出都係開心嘅。
Thank you, Mama.
They know how to survive.
It's really frightening.
What can be done about an invincible invader with an insatiable appetite running roughshod over the ecosystem?
They are evolutionarily successful.
Tuesday, Wingxing Photo Supplies 40th Anniversary presents Conquerors at 9:30 on Pearl Spectacular.
Good evening. It was overcast with occasional rain and colder temperatures today. As tonight's situation chart shows, at 5 p.m., an intense winter monsoon was affecting southern China. Today's temperatures range from 12 to 17.1 degrees Celsius, and the current temperature is now standing at 13 degrees Celsius. 4.1 millimeters of rain has been recorded since midnight, and the cold weather warning is now in force. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? Overcast with rain again tomorrow. It will be cold with temperatures ranging from 11 to 14 degrees. Expect the rain to ease off later and becoming mainly fine in the following few days. Tomorrow morning's air quality health index will range from low to moderate, and the maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 1. And now to the latest global weather update. Showers in Shanghai, Taipei, and Xiamen. Rain in Guangzhou and Macau, cloudy in Chengdu. Bright in Beijing, sunny in Seoul and Tokyo. Bright in Ho Chi Minh City and Manila. Bright in Kuala Lumpur, rain in Jakarta. Bright in Karachi, sunny in Mumbai. Showers in Cairo, bright in Nairobi. Showers in Brisbane and Sydney, bright in Auckland. Snow in Toronto, rain in New York. Cloudy in Vancouver, bright in San Francisco. And there's showers in London and Paris, rain in Amsterdam, cloudy in Frankfurt, sunny in Zurich. And that's the weather. Have a lovely evening.
People assumed that animals behave purely out of instinct.
But we're discovering that animals are ingenious problem solvers.
He worked out to use his own water, what he had around him, to his advantage, which I think shows a lot of intelligence.
Who will solve this puzzle? Wednesday, Inside the Animal Mind at 9:30 on Pearl.
Hi.
Hey.
Got anything stronger?
Thursday.
Alicia. Mom. Your hair. I like it longer.
It's a family reunion.
Maybe she wants a divorce.
Oh, dear God.
Good wife style.
Is your second marriage?
Third. Never found anyone to satisfy me. Either bore me or die.
Let the meddling.
She's never gonna divorce her, you know.
Begin.
Leading her on. Let her go.
Thursday, The Good Wife at 10:35 on Pearl.